All right, y'all, what's up? about to about to get this thing going. We back with another live. All right. Sunday, man. and it's cold and it's raining. So it's kind of making me a little drowsy too, but maybe when we get to talking this maybe when I get to mess with some of these trolls in here when they come in, right? That'll wake me up. But yeah, man, what's going on? We about to get this going here. Got a few things to discuss. I know. Look, there's one topic I got to talk about because some of y'all been asking me about this one. But overall, man, look, I want to get into this conversation, man, about how long WMMA's been around now in the UFC. I mean, it's been 10 years, man. We got to talk about it. It's been 10 years. I've been busy and I wanted to talk about it last week, but couldn't get to it. But now I can. So yeah, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's been 10 years, man. Like, of course, it's been longer. It's been longer, WMMA's been around, but as far as like the UFC, it just came in 2013, right? All thanks to Dana White finally breaking and saying, all right, I'm gonna let women in the UFC. At first, y'all remember like his words back in the day? Like, let me see if I can find that. I want to stir up some old memories. Like, what was his thoughts on women in the UFC way back? What did he say? I would never sign a woman. Let me see. What was his? Let's see if we can still find that article. It was like way back, man. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, here it is. Somebody got it up. This was back in 2011. Dana White would change his mind about women never in the UFC. This was back in 2011. He said, all right, hold on. Okay, yeah, this was what he said. Okay. When are we going to see women in the UFC? He said never. That was his own that was a simple answer. He said White himself has acknowledged that his nevers often don't last, but at the moment he said never. Said he would never sign women. That was, like I said, back in 2011. Since then, when you had Ronda Rousey tearing through the strike force, and she was this big personality, just doing her thing, making her noise, even before she got into the UFC. Even at that time, he was kind of reluctant about signing women, right? He was still on the fence. He was still like, I'm not going to sign women. But eventually he broke down and realized that there's a market for this, right? He realized that there's a market for this and said, you know what? Maybe it won't be such a bad idea signing Ronda Rousey. She's making all this noise. She's a Strike Force champion. Uh, the fans like her. She can be like this breakthrough star. So he did break down and say, let me put my pride aside. And he realized that, hey, if this woman can bring in this type of crowd and she can make this type of money, on top of that, she can fight, why not? Right? Why not? He finally broke down. Like, here it is. Look, Dana White on why he reveals why he changed his mind about having women in the UFC. This was from last year. All right. So he said, everything in life is about timing. This is what he told Ronda Rousey. He said, when I was saying we'll never have women in the UFC, I was having a hard enough time getting men fighting in the cage, accepted, let alone women. He said, you approached me and we had like a 45-minute conversation. And halfway through it, I started going, Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna do this, and she's definitely the one to do this with, right? And he said, "There's this thing that people have that you can't put your finger on. They just have it, and you had it." And that's what he told Rhonda. I'll see somebody like you, and I'll say she has the potential to be huge, but you have to actually go out and do the work and become that. You've been through the process, and you were probably the best ever at the process. See, that's what I'm saying. Like he realized that. He realized it. You know, she approached him, and he seen what she could do and confidence that she had and everything that she's already done before even being, considered. Even before it didn't have anything to do with him, basically. Okay. Like she already laid down the groundwork and she was bringing in a crowd. She was already bringing in a market. So he finally had to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to sign you. Right. And when he says this, I want to go back. He said he was having a hard enough time for people to accept men fighting in the cage. Hey, I never really seen like too many people complain about men though, like when they were fighting. Like, so I mean, everybody was thinking it was a brutal sport, especially when you compare it to boxing. Yeah, but there was already kind of a market for it because the people that couldn't box or never really could get into boxing, they already started gravitating towards um, something like MMA. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to go into something that had like wrestling and kicking and more of a no holds barred type of thing, right? See, boxing is more of a disciplined sport, so that other crowd that really couldn't get attracted to something like boxing, they already wanted to find a home in something like MMA. So the men, I don't really think they had a hard time being accepted. Maybe, like I said, as mainstream, people did think it was brutal because there was a time when I was kind of like that, like, oh man, what is this? Hitting people when they down, this ground and pound thing, right? So yeah, it was going to be a time where it was just going to have to flow through and people would have to accept it. But yeah, women, yeah, there was a time when you definitely wouldn't see them in there. So I think Dana White didn't want to receive that hate, but with her being signed to other organizations and you just seeing what she was doing as a judoka and other women on the underground circuit fighting, there was like a growing crowd for it. So eventually when she had to have that conversation with him, he realized, yeah, okay, you have something. And she has it. And he realized that it was money. You know what I mean? So he couldn't deny it anymore and just say, oh, this is a woman. I can't sign her. No, she's a woman that's going to make you some money, right? She's a woman that's going to make you some money and you want to be a part of that, right? So finally, breaking down, signing her. I mean, they brought her in. She headlined, fought for the belt in her first fight, right? Against Liz Carmouche. What was the date on that fight? Let me see. Because I remember watching that fight. How long ago was that? Yeah, it was 10 years, of course. It was February 23rd. Yeah, February 23rd. It's been a few weeks now since we marked that date. But yeah, man, she came in, got a finish over Liz Carmouche. Liz Carmouche was trying. It was a grueling fight. First, Liz Carmouche was trying her best to get a choke on Ronda Rousey, climbing her back, doing whatever she could. You know, um, UFC 157. UFC 157. Dang, man. Seems so long ago now, man. I can't believe time's been flying like that. Yeah, like a main event too, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. Her first card. And no, she wasn't brought in as a preliminary card fight. They made the gamble and it paid off, you know. So in a lot of ways, like I said before, Ronda, I'm not like this huge Ronda fan, but she definitely paved the way for a lot of the WMMA fighters now. And, a lot of them have her to thank for that. Definitely. I think that, she's in her own lane. when you compare to other women, though, like she does have that presence about her. That's why she became like this huge star. But since then, you haven't really had too many. Another fighter now that would probably be the closest is Wei Lee. But like even here in America, like you don't have too many women like that. But he just knew that she was this special fighter that said, okay, let me bring her in. But along the way, you know, I'm gonna have to start bringing in more women. So yeah, she is to thank for it, right? Um, but yeah, it's been like 10 years, man, and like I said, I was watching it before it was in the UFC. Like a lot of y'all that follow me here, y'all were watching it, and some of these other tournaments they were doing, just doing little playbacks on YouTube. And I remember watching a lot of fights, like 3 or 4 years before that, some underground stuff, even locally, just having local women perform. Some of those fights that weren't even like up to par on like their skills, but they were coming in there fighting, they were competitive. But yeah, since then, 2013, you had a lot of great fights in the UFC. I just posted up some here that, we remember, and some of the ones that I remember that just had me like, wow. I mean, there's more, of course, even on like prelims and, early prelim cards that, I could still count as like some of my favorite fights. It didn't have to be like the women that are compared, that are called superstars, like Ronda's fights, they're so quick and just one thing, but I like the more technical performances. It could be a decision or whatever, but if you see these women in there performing and giving it their all, just like the men, I'm like, hey, it's on my list. I got to give them credit. Let me see what y'all are talking about here. Colton, what's going on? He said Ronda also made MMA mainstream. She brought a whole new audience. Right? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like Dana White seen that. He's seen that she had like a presence, not just like for women, but it was a crossover thing. And that's why she's doing well in wrestling. Because she has that it factor. And that's something he wanted to capitalize off. It would have been really crazy not to sign her. BJ said Misha gets her props too. It was her and Ronda's fight that got his attention. Misha was automatic signing too. Right. But hey, you got to go with the winner, right? Ronda was the one that won. But yeah, Misha gets her props. Misha Tate, I used to watch her fights. Even going back to one of the fights that really made me a big WMMA fan was her versus Caitlin Young. And I was a big Caitlin Young fan back then, man. And when I saw her with that head kick of Misha Tate, I was like, dang. I was like, dang, that was crazy. But since then, I mean, Misha Tate's like, she's definitely come a long way from that. Like, unfortunately, Caitlin Young never made it to the UFC, but she's still a good fighter that I enjoy watching. But yeah, Misha Tate gone on to win the belt, so she came back hard from that. She came back, big time from that. Cole says sports fans are generally men and they don't really rally too much behind women. Ronda changed all that. Yep. Marcus said before Dana had women in the UFC, there was Scott Coker. Right. You know, Strike Force, right? But we're talking about, the big platform, the UFC, you know, he didn't want to do it the first time, right? He didn't want to do it the first time. Like I said, all these other regional organizations we used to look at before, they were fine with it, but him, no, right? And that's what made it like crazy at first. Like, why wouldn't you want to go ahead and take a chance here? It seemed like if Ronda wasn't around, he really probably would have taken a little bit longer. But yeah, since then, he signed her, and it's definitely been a blessing. For me, I probably wouldn't have been. Let me see, how would I gauge myself as an MMA fan? Like, I'm past casual now, but I'm a I probably wouldn't have been this type of fan that I am with the channel unless it wasn't for the women. Let me put it that way, because it was a lot of women that got me into watching MMA. It's crazy too because boxing, yeah, men, they run it. all my favorite fighters for the most part are men. I like Clarissa Shields and a lot of women boxers, but like my old time favorites are all men in boxing. And everybody loves men when it comes to boxing, but yeah, when it comes to the women, they are pretty much the ones that just got me into watching mixed martial arts. So with them being signed to the UFC, definitely credit the majority of the women or all the women for keeping me around and then wanting to do a channel and even veering off and covering some of the men's fights, right? I'm like, y'all hear me cover some of the men's fights here and there, and they're the ones that got me into actually wanting to look into more and research some of these other fighters now, So I guess you could say if it wasn't for the women, I probably wouldn't even be a big Volkanovski fan now, right? So he can thank the women for getting me to be a big fan, a huge fan of him, or even like Max Holloway. So yeah. But let's see, man. Yeah, these were just some of the fights. Like I said, you got to put the first fight up there. The first fight that kicked it off, February 23rd, right, 2013. Ronda Rousey finishing Liz Carmouche. And like I said, that was the fight that put women on the map. And of course, down here, Andrade and Karolina Kowalkiewicz. So there's a lot of great fights. The women since then, like not just Ronda as a whole, that put on a lot of good fights, a lot of memorable fights. You got a lot of women that come in here and perform, to a high level, that put on good shows, highlight reels. Like Jessica Andrade in this fight with Karolina Kowalkiewicz. That's like a memorable knockout, man. Like I've never seen anybody get knocked out like that before. Like in the UFC, in the strawweight division, and of course Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg. That was a big build up to that fight, and I remember going into that one. That's kind of like one of them picks. It was like that gut feeling I had, and I went with it, man. I was like, you know what? I don't know, man. Like the way things are going here, there's a lot of emotion in this fight, and I just think that Amanda Nunes is going to win this fight, and it's not going beyond the first round. With the way these two fight, I was like, Nunes and Cyborg is not a 5-round fight. I was like, it's barely going to be a 1-round fight. And I mean, Nunes went in there. She capitalized off of an emotional Chris Cyborg coming right after and landed some bombs in there, man, and knocked her out. Nobody expected that. A lot of people thought that Amanda Nunes was going to go in there and fold, and they thought she wasn't going to be up to par. They thought she was, a little fearful, like a lot of the other fighters. But something about this one just told me that, you know what? I think Amanda going to do it. Amanda, she going to carry that power up, and she going to do it. Sink said, what made you pick Nunes? It was like one of them. It was just one of them gut feelings, and just the fact that I knew that Chris Cyborg was going to come in fighting off of emotion. Sink, like that's how I felt. Like I've seen her do it time and time again. Against some of the other girls. Like if somebody hits her back, she'll go 8. Or if she smells blood, she'll go wild and start swinging. Like she would brawl, and most of these girls would fold. But I was like, you know what? Nunes just got the power. I was like, she's going to find these openings, and you're not going to run through her like that. A lot of people felt the opposite. Some people disagree with me. I was like, no, she's going to knock Nunes out. I was like, she possibly could, but I was like, Nunes going to counter that power. I was like, with her own power. And it was crazy when it played out like that, man. I was just like, yeah. It was one of them knockouts that, yeah, like Lolita said, it never gets old. Robot Chicken said you must hate Cyborg. And for Lolita, I don't think it's that she hates. I'm just like, for me, it's just like a good fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a good, quick example of underestimating somebody, and somebody that was not scared, and somebody that was an accurate puncher, and they were coming to fight for their life. You know what I mean? Like, Chris Cyborg was just like, "Hey, I'm coming in here. I'm gonna knock you out." Amanda said, "No, you're not. I'm gonna knock you out." I got power too. Watch this. Mark said for a while, women in bantamweight couldn't get around Ronda's armbar. No, they couldn't. Everybody said they had a game plan, or tried to train for it, but they just couldn't get around it, man. So, Ronda Rousey was just going on a dominant reign, right? But yeah, that was like one of them knockouts, man. Yeah, I'm like Lolita. You play it back more than once. Andrade and Carolina, same deal, man. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy power from Jessica Andrade, man. Claus said couldn't believe how big Nunes' arms were in the Cyborg fight. Yeah, at featherweight, when the weight cut's not as rough for her, she's going to carry that type of power, that type of strength. She walks around like back then when this fight took place, word was Amanda was walking around like nearly 168, 170, So dropping down to 145 versus 130, 135, I was like, you know what? I can't pick Chris in this. So I got to pick Amanda. She's going to come in a little bit more cooler, calm, and her power is going to be crazier than it was for the Ronda Rousey fight, Yeah. Yellow Leader said she was trying to bully her and Nunes wasn't having it right. She came back and she didn't fold. Most women will fold. That's the same approach, that Grasso took with Valentina. You got to respect that. That's why I was like, man, like my gut was heard that music that Grasso was playing and the confidence she had, and I was like, should I switch my pick off of music? I was like, nah, man. Valentina gonna go here and dominate. And what happens? Valentina loses. All right, what was some other fights? Yeah, so Whaley, versus Jessica Aguilar. I know a lot of people don't remember that fight, but that's another one that I enjoyed. I thought that was one of the fights where you could really see Whaley perform and be brutal. I know that Aguilar already been in the game for a minute, but it was just one of those ones I was like, wow, this is a brutal, bloody mess here of that Whaley's making of Jessica Aguilar. And that's one of the her UFC performances that kind of had me looking like, she's got something. She's got something. But some other fights that I enjoy throughout the past 10 years. Let me see. I liked Andrade versus Claudia Gadelha. That was one. What's her name? Shoot. Oh man, that submission from Rose Namajunas and Angela Hill. That first round submission. I mean, the way she choked her out, I was like, dang. Yeah, Colton said Joanna when she first got KO'd by Rose. Yeah, that was a good one. That was another one where I had to pick Rose in that one. I thought, she had the skills to do it, and the overall timing and striking. That was one I picked. That was a good one. Cole said Nunes looked bigger than Cyborg when they were next to each other at the face-off. Yeah, she probably was at night. She probably was. Singh said Joanna versus Carla. Wow, that was a massacre, man. That was one of them fights where I was like, I don't, Carla, even going before the fight, I was already kind of like, I don't know, man. Joanna is probably gonna really hurt this girl because at the time when I was watching that Tough House, I was like, okay, some of these girls, they're good, they're promising, but I was looking at the ones that weren't in the Tough House, like the ones that were just going straight in, like them gritty fighters, like what was her name at the time? Marina Monroe was one. What is her name? Claudia Gadelha and Joanna. Them girls were hardcore. And then I seen that first fight with Joanna and Claudia. It's like, man, Joanna's tough. I was like, this girl right here, she is tough. She's physically strong, man. And that Muay Thai of hers, she was just brutal with it. And when Carla won that belt, I was like, I don't know how long she gonna keep it. And then when they made that Joanna fight, I was like, uh-oh. And I mean, Joanna went to work, man. Joanna went to work on Carla that fight. It was brutal, man. She finished her what round? Like two? She got her out of there in two, man. And from there, it was just like it was proof on what I was thinking too about it. Like Joanna was different from them girls in the tough house. I mean, they were good, no knock to them, but Joanna was just like built different at the time. Same with Claudia Gadelha. Those girls were like just strong and gritty. And I think if they were in the house at the time, it probably would have came down to Claudia and Joanna. They probably would have been finishing a lot of those girls, man. Like again, they were good, but they were just still like developing. Even like Rose in that tough house, they were trying to push her as the next Ronda, but I was like, man, nah, like this girl's young, man. Like at the time, I think how old was Rose? Like 19 then? Like I think you had to be not you had to be like 21 to be in the house, I think, right? Because Paige I think Paige Van Zandt tried to get in the tough house back in like 2014, but I think she was like 18. And you got to be of drinking age, I believe, right? Because drinking goes on in the house. So if you're like 18, you can't sign up to be in the tough house. So she wasn't on there. But I think Rose actually had to be like at least 21 at the time, right? So yeah, I think she was like 21, 22. But even back then, man, I was like, you know what? Rose is good, but she was still developing. She wasn't like this next Ronda that they wanted to be, so it showed when she fought Carla, so yeah. But yeah, that was just like a lot of the stuff I used to watch, man, like throughout the 10 years too, man. Like, I mean, who was watching like the Tough House back then? Like, were you watching it back then, BJ? Like back in 2014? I mean, I'm probably like showing my age too, like some of y'all. But yeah, I was really hyped because I was watching a lot of these fighters um when they were Invicta. All these girls that came from Invicta, they pretty much signed them all when they were trying to build that strawweight division. You already had a bantamweight division in the UFC, right? But they wanted to get that strawweight division. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, they're going to grab all these girls from Invicta. I was like, man, I got to see this, man. I was like, this is going to be crazy. And I was like, oh, snap, they got Tisha Torres. I was like, they got this crazy girl, Beck Rollins, up in here, you know? And then you got Rose, the time she was doing the flying arm bar and everything. They got all these girls. And I was like, uh-oh, they put them all in the same house, JoJo. And, when you put all them girls in the same house, it was going to be something. You had all the quiet girls together, which was the ones I pretty much liked. And then you had all them noisemakers like Angela Hill and Beck and what is her name? What was that one girl's name? What was her name? Not Jessica. Jessica Panay. She was part of that crew too. But what was that one girl's name? Angela Magana, man. Yeah, Angela Magana, man. Like that girl was always talking trash up in that house. And you were just like waiting for somebody to come along and beat it, like submit her, And I think she did get submitted by what's the Irish girl's name? There's another Irish girl in there that I know, Aisling Daly. I mean, do y'all remember some of these fighters I'm talking about? It was Aisling Daly. Like she doesn't fight anymore. I think she had some medical issues, but yeah, she was in I think she had fought for Invicta. Like she was in like some of the Cage Warrior fights back in the day. I want to say she did like submit. She submit or knock Angela Magana out or something, and I was like, there you go. And I like Ashley Day. She was one of the fighters I liked. Who else? In the Tough House, I liked the Quiet Crew. I liked Randa Marcos, of course, JoJo. And who else was part of that squad? I think Tisha had moved to that team. Tisha was one. What was that one girl that could wrestle? She was cool too. There was one girl that was like a wrestler. Like she came out of high school like as a wrestler. Like she didn't go that far either. Like she didn't go far. She got finished a couple times. Like I guess she just wasn't like up on MMA like that. Like this was like early days, so she wasn't really like developing. I can't remember her name. She was like, I think Beck had like beat her or something like that. But anyways, yeah, that was like when they first built the strawweight division, man, and like it was popping. And I remember like when every what Tuesday when that Tough House comes on, man, I had to tune in, man, because I was like, I got to see what's gonna happen, like who's gonna make it. And I'm not gonna lie, man, my pick to make it at the time was JoJo. Like she was like one of the promising fighters back then. Y'all know she was like Carla. Carla and JoJo were like I think two of the top picks in the house to make it going off of their resumes. And with Carla being an Invicta champion, of course, right? People were like, okay, she's going to be that one. But at the time, JoJo was hyped up as one. And who else? I think, yeah, Rose was kind of being looked at. Rose was kind of being looked at as one. So it came down really to those three fighters. And man, I was pissed off whenever when JoJo got submitted by Rose by what she do by Kimura. Man, and I remember in that fight, I think she dropped Rose. Like she dropped Rose with like a kick or a punch or something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe she's gonna get this, but she gets down on the ground, and that's where you seen JoJo didn't have a ground game. That's like when I first learned she didn't have a ground game. I was like, uh-oh. I got so hung up on seeing her as a striker, and I didn't really think that she was gonna have trouble. I was always feeling like, okay, maybe she'll just use her stand up, defend a few moments here from Rose, and she'll outland or whatever. Then when she gets down on the ground, she gets locked in this Kimura. And I'm like, oh snap! What? Come on! And JoJo's out of it. But yeah, since then, JoJo hasn't really developed the ground game too much. It sucks, and y'all know where she's kind of at right now. What else, man? What were some other fights y'all remember? Let me see. High Five, what's up? He said my favorite fight is Carla versus Rose too, because it reveals so many things and changed the way judges score the takedown without damage. Okay, BJ said he was watching. High Five says his favorite fight is Carla versus Rose too. I don't know all about that, man. I don't know about that. Favorite fight. I mean, hey, to each his own. To each his own. That's your favorite fight. Now, Carla Rose for the first fight was okay. Yeah, that was a good fight. Yeah. BJ said he was excited for that first female tough. Yeah, I was too, man. Like when they brought, that whole show was just what is his name? Melendez and Pettis as the coaches. Leading what? How many women was it? 16. Yeah, 16. I was like, oh man, I gotta see how this works out, especially when they were coming straight out of Invicta and I already knew most of them. And I was like, uh-oh, there's gonna be some drama up in this house just off of attitudes, What else? Yeah, Robot Chicken said Claudia and Joanna were dangerous. Yeah, at the time they were really dangerous, man. And there was just that thing about Joanna. You were like, man, this girl here is something. And since then, man, I mean, you can look back at her resume and say, oh man, like some of these girls were easy, because I heard some people say that, but hey, you still got to give her credit. I mean, hey, she rose to the occasion to beat them all. So she gets my credit as being a dominant champion. I mean, nobody since then has went on a dominant streak like that, you know? Yeah, they cut Rand off a win. Like, I like Rand too, man. Like, Rand is a good fighter. Yeah, so this was what was this? JoJo and yeah, Rose. Sucks, man. That sucked, man. I think if JoJo had won that fight, maybe things would have changed. Maybe. But then she loses to Marina Moreau by an armbar. And again, I'm like, oh man, her submission defense it's not up to par. It's not up to par, man. But what else? What was some other fights out of these past 10 years since y'all been watching a lot of this WMM, a lot of the WMA fights in the UFC. Let's see, BJ said then the bantamweight season came. Oh yeah, yeah. That bantamweight season, that one was a crazy one too, man. Ronda and Misha Tate. Hmm. Who else was in that house? You had Jessamine Duke. Does anybody remember her? Like, I know she has a gaming channel now, but anybody, part of the Four Horsemen, Shayna Baszler, and um, well, since BJ, you were watching, you remember Jessamine, right? I was kind of high on her, man. I thought she was gonna be like this, tough knockout artist or this type of striker or something. Then she goes and gets beat by who beat her? She had lost a fight, I think, in Invicta. But who finished her? Leslie Smith finished her, and Irene Aldana. Does anybody remember? Yeah, Peggy Morgan. Yeah, Peggy Morgan was in there. Peggy Morgan got her jaw broke by Megan Anderson, right? Yeah. Beaches. All right, let me see here. Okay, Zaman said, yeah, Peggy Morgan. Yeah, Peggy Morgan, I remember got her jaw. I think it was either Megan Anderson that broke her jaw, I believe. Or what? It wasn't Cyborg, was it? I gotta check. Hold on. If you pull up the picture, you'll see it. Hold on. Oh yeah. There it is. I'm gonna show y'all something because I remember watching this fight live in Invicta. Not live like I was there, but live when it happened. Hold on. Yeah, you had Peggy Morgan, Cheesecake, and Roxy. And yeah, that's when I was a Juliana Pena fan, for hardcore fan, because I was like, it seemed like everybody was against her at the time, and I was rocking with her because I liked her style. I was like, yeah, Juliana Pena gonna beat all these girls, man. I was like, y'all ain't giving her credit in this house. Y'all are being rough on her. And who else? Yeah, Rocky Pennington was in there. Yeah, Shayna Baszler. I said Cheesecake. Yeah, Cheesecake was in there. Yeah, Roxy was fighting. Yeah, I remember. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all some. This ain't UFC, but it's Invicta. So, but she was in the tough house. Yeah, y'all remember this, right? The hardcore fans remember that, right? That was Peggy Morgan after that Megan Anderson fight. And Megan Anderson, man, like talking about her, she was a fighter that again, like Jessamine. Well, at least she did get a few wins, Megan did. I thought that she was a fighter that was going to come in here, possibly be some competition for Chris Cyborg. And I'm talking about Megan now. But nope, unfortunately not. She just kind of got thrown off course. I think the way they pushed her, they kind of rushed Megan a little bit, and then they had her inactive for after like a year when they signed her. And then what happens? They put her in there with Holly. And what does Holly do? Just out wrestle her. Colton said, yeah, Juliana was on there. She won. Yeah. I was happy for it at that time, man. Yeah, Jessica. Hold on, which Jessica you talking about? Sync. What is her name? Marcus Bells and Angela Hill. Nasty Boy was on there too. Oh yeah. I remember you say that. I know why you say that, man, because it's up there, but everybody know I'm gonna talk about it. Angela Hill used to be farting up there. That's how deep I was watching this show, and I was like, man, come on, Angela. Like, Angela Hill was up in that house farting, like, and she thought that junk was funny. I mean, they was always doing crazy jokes, but yeah, Angela Hill used to be up in that tough house farting, man. Yeah, Angela Hill and some of the other girls just thought it was funny. I remember JoJo saying that like she thought Angela Hill was annoying because like she couldn't stand her laugh, and because she was farting. Let me see, Jessica Rakowski. Zama said wrong one. No, Marcus is talking about the strawweight one, not the bantamweight one. Yeah, but she used to be up in there acting up. And did you know when they signed Angela Hill to fight in the Tough House, she really didn't need to be up there. I mean, everything turns out the way it's supposed to for a reason, but I don't think Angela Hill needed to be up there because she was only like 1-0. And on top of that, they made her fight. She was the number 16 seed. All right. Angela Hill was at the bottom. And they make her fight the number 1 seed, Carla Esparza. And dang well she ain't gonna beat Carla Esparza in that first eliminator fight. That was crazy, man. So I was like, they setting Angela Hill up here, like, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, are y'all just trying to get one black fighter up in here? What I mean, that was my mindset at the time. I was like, y'all trying to get one black fighter up in here, and you didn't even get one that was experienced. I mean, like, that's no knock to Angela at the time, but she only had like one fight going into this house. Angela Hill only had one fight going into this house, and then you make her fight the former Invicta champion. I'm like, what sense did that make? I was like, what sense did that really make? Like, you're gonna bring this girl 1-0 with all these other girls that got ground game and got skills, got some type of background in Muay Thai, which she did. Angela Hill's a former Muay Thai fighter, so maybe she would have matched up nicely with JoJo or something, but it made you think. You were like, dang, like they setting this girl up for failure already. I was like, what? Yeah, Alex Chambers was on there. Yeah, the Australian fighter. Yeah. Yeah, she was part of that quiet crew. Yeah. Alex Chambers. Who else? I can't remember that one wrestler's name, man. Like, I remember Heather Joe Clark was in there. Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. Remember this fight? That they put Carla in there. They put Angela in there with a tough fighter already in Carla Esparza. And I was like, yo, man, come on now. Y'all got her in there with the best fighter. Y'all know she ain't gonna win this one. Um, True said, did you mention Kat Zingano? Oh yeah, yeah, and Kat Zingano. Yeah, Kat Zingano versus Misha Tate. That was a great fight. That's one of my favorite fights. Kat Zingano versus Misha Tate. That was that was a bloody war. I mean, Kat put Misha Tate on game with those knees, man. Like, yeah, Kat is a very, very strong wrestler too, man. Like when she first came in, I was like, okay, maybe she will be some competition. Maybe she will be some competition for Ronda, but I was disappointed her in that. I was disappointed her in that night, man. I was. Okay, Robot Chicken says, I remember Rose said JJ 40. That's what started their feud. Angela's like Michael Myers, that guy from the movie Halloween. Cole said Cat versus Amanda's really good fight. Yeah, that's a good one. That was Invicta, right? Yeah, that was a good fight. You think any fighter goes in? Lolita said, "Do you think any fighter goes in smelling nasty on purpose?" Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Jin Fry said that. Wait a minute. Jin Fry said that. Let me find her name. The girl that she fought the atomweight title for would come in with BO. Mike, again, I'm not saying this, but this is what she said. Okay, Jin Fry said that Mina Grusander would come in with a body odor, and she thinks she was doing that on purpose to avoid like the ground or something like that. So I think some people probably do. Like I said, I don't know if there's any truth to that, but yeah, Jenny Fry and her trainer, I think it's her husband, also said that Mina Grisander was coming in and coming in a little funky, according to her. So I think maybe some of the men probably do that too. I mean, I haven't heard too many people say the women do. Well, no, no. I think Misha Tate said something about Ronda Rousey like that one time. Again, I don't know. Like, I mean, would Misha lie? Would she? I mean, she's human, right? Would she make excuses? I don't know. Let me look it up though. Like that's a good question though. It's a tactic. It's a tactic that people use, right? Yeah, Misha Tate said Ronda Rousey is stinky. This was back in 2014. She said, and her natural deodorant doesn't work very well. Yeah, yeah. So I guess people do, or maybe they do come in like that, or maybe sometimes they just don't practice the same type of hygiene like they would like if they were going to a regular job, throwing on deodorant, using body wash and cologne. Maybe they said since they're gonna fight, they're not gonna go to that effort. Yeah, so yeah, Misha Tate says that about Ronda Rousey. I remember her saying that too. I remember her saying that. Yeah, she said the former Strike Force champion. She said that she had BO, man. And what else did she say? Okay, yeah, because it's a TMZ though. They ask crazy questions. They says Ronda Rousey stinking. She said she actually does. I'm not gonna lie, she really is. I heard she uses some natural deodorant, but it doesn't work very well. And I don't remember it during the fight. Yeah, so I guess she experienced it, and that's how she felt. She was just being honest, right? But yeah, Lolita. I guess some fighters use it as a tactic. They do. Some people say they put other like smelly stuff on parts of their body, like even in wrestling. I mean, it's a tactic, but some people it don't phase them. They just go in and they say, "No, my mission is to kill." Right? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Lolita said, "Remember what Misha said about how hard Amanda hits? Yeah, she hits like a truck, man. That's another great fight. What were some other good fights, y'all? Like while we still here talking? I mean, yeah, we've been rambling on about uh, past 10 years, and that's why I was just gonna come on and do for a little bit and talk about how long how long it's been. Like, what else was some good fights? What are some good prelim fights, BJ? What are some fights you remember, man, from 2013 up to now? Like, it ain't even got to be like a main event. What were some other good fights? Uh, let me think. Let me think. What was another good fight? What was another good fight that you remember? Any of y'all? Around to smell like garlic and onions. Yeah, that's a tactic too. They said, like, I think, as certain tactics they would use is like putting garlic in your I guess in your whatever you call it, in your uniform. That was a that was a tactic. But let me see what is another fight. I'm trying to think of another prelim fight that I thought was a really really good one. Now that I'm thinking about it, my mind just goes blank though. Try to think about it. Colton said Joanna versus Jessica Andrade. Yeah, that was on my mind. That was a great fight. I don't care what people say about Joanna being a decision queen. I think it was still a very good technical showing. It was still a good fight. Not every fight has to end in a knockout, man. It was just all around good performance. The way she tamed Andrade and said, "You know what? You're not slamming me. Like you're not gonna knock me out like you do these other girls." She showed how strong she is, how technical she is, how skillful she is, round after round. You know, and Tate versus McMahon was a good fight. Yeah, that's a good fight. That was a good fight. Joanna versus Laterno. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good fight. True hits out like Gina Carano before she retired. Yeah, I kind of wish she would have made it to the UFC, man. Like I wish they would have. I wish she would have stuck around. But after that fight, man, with Cyborg, she bounced, man. She left. It was crazy. And I think between her and Ronda, yeah, they would have made like a super fight. That would have been like the biggest money fight up to date, because you really don't get too many casual fans that's going to just gravitate to two women like that, you know. Yeah, Ronda was another good fight. Ronda versus Sarah McMahon, that was a good one. I like that fight. I don't think too many people mention that one, but I thought she showed some good striking in that particular fight. Yeah, Kedzie versus Tate was a good fight. Kedzie had her in trouble in that one. That was a good fight. Hang on. Irene Aldana versus Jessamine Duke. That was a good fight. Um, hold on. Here we go. What was some other ones? Joanna Michelle Waterson. That was a good one. Colton said there was talk that Gina and Ronda would fight pretty recently. Really? It was just like talk. Yeah, Aldana versus Vieira. Oh man, yeah, that was a great knockout. That was crazy. Amanda Lemos and Miranda Granger. That was a good submission. I mean, wow. Amanda Lemos put her to sleep. Boy, I think that was like when Amanda Lemos came back from her suspension, I believe, when she suspended. And the way she put Miranda Granger to sleep, that was a good one. Of recent years, I mean, crazy knockout was Lipski and Cachoeira and Lipski. Recent knockout. Hold on here. I'm just trying to save something. Let's see. There it is. Yeah, Lolita said Granger had convulsions. Oh, speaking of convulsions, man. Last year, G Rob submitting Agapova, man, that was crazy. She put, oh man, she was having like a seizure, man. I was like, dang, come on now. This girl is vicious. That was another one. What about Marab versus Jan? That's what Aaron would do to Shevchenko. Wow. Marab was on it, man. That dude, he had a gas tank. He had a couple gas tanks. Jan wasn't ready for that, man. Jan kept on, like hopping around on one foot, trying to avoid those single legs, but Marab was not stopping, man. And he was throwing bombs, he wasn't stopping. Yeah, if Aaron was able to get by the counter punching and keep Valentina off of her balance and her feet, yeah, she would be on Valentina like that. And that's what I was waiting to see, man. I was like, if Grasso don't do it, I was like, I think Aaron's going to do it. I was like, I think Aaron's going to be the one to do it. What was another one here? Agapova, but that was bad. Yeah, that was a bad one. Yeah, Cachoeira, yeah, she's that phone booth brawler, man. Oh man, Lipski upset me with that one. I was like, come on, Lipski, how you gonna lose this fight? You supposed to have the straighter punch. You supposed to come on, girl. But anyway, it was probably the weight too. That was a weight. It was a weight issue. Marcus said Priscilla might be a champion bare knuckle boxing. Yeah, I think she should go over there and fight. What's her name? The flyweight champion, Ferrara. Fiata. Yeah, I think she should fight her. Colton said a lot of Aaron Blanchfield's recent fights. The Miranda Maverick was a really eye-opening fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. Her and Molly McCann. There was another bloody fight that I was thinking of. I think it was on like a prelims card. I can't remember it right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Maybe if I pull up this card. I'll have a refresher here. Was it a UFC 180 something? Hold on. This Mendez McGregor card. Hold on. Let me see if this was a card. Strawweights were strawweights were where it's at, for like the past 8 or so years though. And I can't forget Marina versus Pudilova Aldana. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Pudilova Aldana. I think that's the fight I was thinking of too, because it was on like the same. I told you it kind of goes under the radar because of everybody that was on the card. Yeah, UFC 228. Hold on. This was like, oh man, you had three big fights on this card. I think I said this before, but you had Aldana and Pudilova. That turned out to be a banger. So that's one. Then you had Suarez destroying Carlos Esparza on the same card. That's the next one. Brutal fights. And then you had Andrade knocking out Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I mean, all of that on the same card. That's probably like one of the most like brutal women cards right there. And guess who was supposed to be on that card? We would have had one more brutal fight. So this was probably like the most brutal WMMA schedule ever. Also on that card was Nico versus Valentina. But y'all know that fight got canceled that night. Not that night, but it didn't happen that night. Yeah, UFC 228 had it would have had four of the nastiest fights. I mean, the Aldana Pudilova fight, when I look back at that one, that was crazy, man. It was a lot of back and forth action in that one. Pudilova was actually standing her ground, man. That girl's, she's crazy, man. Even now, she be having that crazy look in her eye. Yeah, man. That fight, and then I said, man, Carla, that same night, Carla, I mean, she got knotted up by Tatiana so bad. And then I thought it was over. Then Andrade knocks out Carolina. Wow, that's what I'm saying. The strawweight division, man, it was on fire. It was on fire, man. It was on fire. Andrade brings the action though. That's no lie, man. Donna Moore, what's up? She said one of the bloodiest fights. Oh yeah, one of the bloodiest fights for Souza and Stoyarenko. That fight was a mess, boy. I'm surprised they weren't slipping and falling like crazy in that fight. That fight was a mess. That was Invicta, but still, that was a that was a banger for Invicta. Oh boy, don't even bring more Sarah Morris and Vanessa Mello. That fight got them both cut, didn't it? I'm not lying, am I? Didn't that fight get them cut, Marcus? They both got cut that same night. Tatiana Suarez and Carla, man. Wow. Tisha Torres and Jessica Andrade. That was a good fight. Tisha Torres and Carla Esparza. I'm going here. But yeah, I mean, the past 10 years, like I said, there's been some great fights, man. And I think, with the flyweight division, you definitely getting you're still going to get a lot of good fights. You can get a lot of good action, man. That's why I just always been in support of, WMMA, because you got some dedicated fighters, man. You got a lot of good women that want to just give it their all, and they do just like the men. Of course, you can never fight a man, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, as far as how the women perform, they bring a certain level of action too, So I just got to give them props for that. Uh, okay, Robot Chicken said, real question: what's worse? What is worse for Valentina? Wait, what is worse for Valentina, losing to Grasso again or winning the belt just to lose to Blanchfield? I think it would be worse to lose. I think it'd be worse winning the belt, and then losing it to Blanchfield. Because then that would be like, oh wow, now we were seeing she had problems on the feet. Now she's having problem with the ground game too. See, I think maybe if she just lost to Grasso, she could move on from that, because then, Wmma kind of moved on and she fought a couple of other fighters, right? But it was like she couldn't beat Rose. Okay, so we just move on from that. She never got the belt back still, but you know what I mean? Like, Kelquest said the only fast fight in WMMA and UFC with 0 strikes thrown. Ronda Rousey versus Zingano, 14 seconds. Wow. Yeah, that's some good trivia right there. Did y'all know that? The only quick fight without any strikes thrown, Ronda Zingano, was 14 seconds. Yeah, because Zingano, I mean, she just dove in and made a crazy mistake and didn't even go for it. Didn't even try to set up nothing with no strikes. And she gave it to Ronda. So Ronda said, "Here we go. I'm gonna give it back," and submitted her. 14 seconds, nothing else. Just a quick one. Zama said, which is the worst fight? Morris Mello, Rose, Carla, Shevchenko, Liz. I think Shevchenko Liz is a no. It's not the worst. I'm gonna cancel that one out. I think the Rose Carla fight might be, because you'd expect more from like high level champions. I think Shevchenko Liz. Let me think again now. That fight was really, really. Morris and Mello, they were just on the prelims, and they're not considered championship level. So I think the higher you are, and you put on that type of performance, you really are cheating your fans too. So I still think Rose and Carla hold that title, man. I think they hold the title for the worst fight, man. Not saying they're bad fighters, but they make a bad matchup. They did that night. True said my girl Manone's getting that belt. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Manone here too before I get off here tonight. But Robot Chick said I agree that means 2 fighters figured you out. Right. Yeah, she could keep it moving, if she can move on from the Grasso saga. But for some of y'all that came in, yeah, this was Peggy Morgan. I mean, yeah, WMMA gets brutal too, y'all. It gets brutal. I like Jessica I and JoJo. That was a good fight. That was kind of a dog fight. Colton said, are we talking about Casey O'Neill too? Yeah, we're going to talk about Casey O'Neill as well. And Casey O'Neill and her fight coming up. Yeah, because I just wanted to bring up that they switched them around to JoJo's fight and Casey O'Neill's fight, which was pretty much what I was saying on 286. Like, you should switch that around a little bit, because wow, they really did drop JoJo down to early prelims, didn't they? They weren't playing. Then they moved up Casey O'Neill to the main card. And I had said that too. I was like, they might be listening. They might be listening again, right? They switched them around quick. Because I was saying that too the other night. I said that Robot Chicks and Rose Caller was the worst on the main card of a. Yeah, it was definitely a card that needed some action, and they didn't deliver. Manone and Aaron both agree for Eliminator. It's a great fight. Aaron will get humbled a bit. Yeah, that's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight, y'all. All right, let me see. Where is my? I'm trying to flip through something here. Okay. So yeah, been around for 10 years, gonna be around for another 10 years, right? And hopefully we see them add an atomweight division now. And even a featherweight division, man. Like, add a featherweight division. You got Macy Chason and Chelsea Chandler trying to make a fight. And more than likely they'll make it at 145. So yeah, go ahead and make a featherweight division and atomweight division. WMMA's been in the UFC for 10 years now. We got 3 main divisions. Got a flyweight, strawweight, and a bantamweight division. Go ahead and add 2 more. Make it 5 WMMA divisions here. You're gonna get some good knockouts and finishes with a featherweight division. Oh, Jermaine Durandame versus Aspen Ladd. That was a good knockout too. Home and Cyborg was a good fight. Home versus GDR. I gotta watch that fight again. That fight, I wouldn't say like the worst. I have to take a look at it. It was a very gritty, ugly fight. Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey. Okay, yes, always gonna be one of them fights. Yeah, I remember I had to go around Holly all the way. JoJo hasn't been hot too lately. I think UFC's kind of giving up on her. Well, yeah, I think she knows. She said in a recent interview she only has about another 2 years, and I mean, it's not that they're giving up on her. I mean, she's already in her 30s, mid 30s, and hasn't really she's still training and still holding it down as the fighter she is, but I don't think she's really gonna make like these crazy improvements at this point. You're not gonna see her turn into this brand new fighter. All right, so yeah, just wanted to jump on and do this little discussion for a bit, and we did for about an hour. So let's talk about this one here. All right, shout out to WMMA rankings. I was looking at this over the past couple of days, and I know some of y'all already discussed this, but it looks like Manon and Aaron are showing interest in a fight. They're showing some interest here. Let's see here. Ice. Kill Quest said, let's see. Wings, I agree. Home versus Geranime was way better than Rose. Yeah, it was. Colton said Home versus Cyborg was a banger. Yeah, that fight was a banger. Yeah, that was a banger, man. Shout out to the UK. I'll say that. But I ain't falling for that. Not falling for that name. Aaron is up to Aaron's she's up for a rude awakening. Darby said if Manon fights Aaron, who does Santos fight? I don't know, man. Santos put herself in a position, man, where it's I don't know. She's just gonna be on the back burner. She might wind up fighting like Chikagan or Lauren Murphy or somebody. Watch. Just watch. All right, so yeah, this is some of the things that's been said, in some recent interviews with Manon, and giving her thoughts on the recent performance of Aaron Blanchfield. And Aaron Blanchfield's also, she'll always give her take as well. She'll speak on it, and if she feels like it's a fight that makes sense, she'll take it. But let's see. All right, Manon said this in a recent interview. She said, I particularly want to fight Blanchfield because of all the hype around her. For me, she hasn't really proved herself. I want to show her the top of that division. A true 125 pounder, because she didn't really face girls with a big physique. Okay. All right. So right there, she says she wants to really show Aaron what it is to fight a true flyweight. Okay. And I mean, there is some truth to that, as far as, Aaron hasn't fought like the big flyweights yet, because of course, the Santos fight didn't happen. Santos had to pull out, and that would have been a true test for Aaron. She would have been fighting a big flyweight, and Aaron hasn't fought anybody like Chikagan or Lauren Murphy. But still, I'm not going to knock her win over Andrade. That was a good, solid win. But yeah, before that, it was more the unranked fighters that she was fighting. JJ, not the biggest flyweight, and Miranda, she's a strong flyweight, but she's not like big. She's short. She's still kind of small. Who else? Who else did she fight? Sarah Alpar was a big one, but she was at the bottom. That's not really like the big and best one. So, yeah, I think that would be a good test for Manon. Fight Aaron fighting somebody like Manon. But like she said, she wants to prove that height. She wanna go in there and test that hype. All right, she said Andrade took that fight on a week notice. She had just fought and was absolutely not well prepared. I'd like to face Blanchfield to show her what it is to fight someone prepared and someone at the top of the division. Wow, Manon is talking that trash, boy. She talking some good trash here. And that's true. Look, there's some truth to that. Look, but like I said, everybody was picking Jessica Andrade to get this victory, to give Erin Blanchfield that work. But now it's like, now that she got it, it's like a lot of people think, she's not getting full credit because it was a short notice. So I think Manon and Valentina, they both have the same view on this fight. They think that Andrade was just chilling. She came to get a paycheck. What do y'all think, though, man? Like, do y'all give Erin full credit for the victory over Andrade? I do, especially when she hasn't fought any other top 10 fighters. I mean, she came up and fought Andrade after fighting a bunch of, the low-level fighters. Like, she should get full credit, right? Hang on, I'll be right back. Yes or no? Does she get full credit? I think she should. Hold on, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Darby said, Manon is bringing that fire, boy. She bringing that heat. Yeah. Kel Quest said, was Manon Chikagan good? I didn't see that one. I thought it was a good fight. It wasn't like this barn burner, but I thought it was a good technical matchup. There was some hit and misses and some off the target shots, but it's like that when you got two strikers at matchup like this, and they're still trying to play a cautious game. I like the fight. Zama said Erin thinks Manon is nothing special. She will be surprised. Yeah, Erin is something special now. That's why I got both of them highly ranked. But yeah, they're both dangerous fighters here. She can't go in there thinking like Erin's gonna be this walk in the park either. But yeah, like Valentina, yeah, they didn't want to give her credit. They said Andrade was just chilling at the beach and just hanging out, and she got the call and said, "Oh, I'm gonna get this paycheck." But as a champion, I'm giving Andrade full credit to know what to do on a short notice fight. That's how I look at it. So to me, Erin gets her full credit, especially the way she approached it. She took Andrade's punches. She took her down. She did it. All right. So Manon said there's a time when you have to face some girls and win against them to prove yourself. They did the same thing with Macy Barber. They hyped her again and again until she lost the fight and it ended. Dang, Manon is talking trash. She said Blanchfield's hype is going to last until she faces me at best. So it's not going to last. Dang. I like this talk. Okay. She's really good and she may become champion one day. I don't say otherwise, but it will be after me. Wow. Now, this is how you talk trash. Like, this is how you talk trash now. I mean, if you're not going to, come back and fight the champion, yeah, I do like how she's talking trash here, man. I want to read that again. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Taking your says she gets full credit. You can only fight who's in front of you, but I can't get that first round of Blanchfield versus Aldrich. Oh, that was a good round. I mean, you can't get past that round. Yeah, well, Aldrich is just a better technical striker at the time, but I think Erin's going to improve, and I think it was just a style matchup. Somebody like JJ is going to see those openings and expose them. You know what I mean? Like, that's something that she's gonna have to improve off of, because if JJ's gonna land on the, Manone's gonna land on her. Darby said, "I don't." Andrade was obviously compromised. That was not a fully prepared fighter. When she reverted to that shoot box style, I knew it was over. I got to give her credit though, man, Darby. I just got to give her credit because this former champion knows what she's doing. You claim you're fresh too. You said, "Hey, I'm still good, close to weight." That Lauren Murphy fight was like a training camp fight. So yeah, Manone's that one fighter I'll trust will be able to defend Aaron's takedowns and will match her cardio and grind. Yeah, I think that she's very strong, and they'll be able to slow Aaron down in those clinches and separate and go right back to using her movement. Lateral movement. Claude said even Suarez said the same about Aaron's win with Andrade not having a training camp. I give Aaron a full half credit for the win. Yeah, at least a full half credit, right? Got to give her something, man, because everybody was picking Andrade. Like, well, the numbers got a little tight on my community post, but for the most part, everybody thought that Aaron was going to be buried, Zama says Sue versus Charlo's next. Yeah, I got Charlo winning that fight. I still got Charlo winning that fight. Who brought that up earlier? Was it you, Lafayette? Yeah. He said Aaron is just like Zoo, no respect. I still think Zoo needs a couple of more victories. Well, this last fight was a good one for him. Before the fight last night with Tony Harrison, I still was feeling like he needed more work in, but I give him credit for beating Tony Harrison though. But Charlo's going to be a different story. Jamel's getting better as a fighter, and he's not going to be just walking straight back. He's gonna give him. Yeah, he's gonna give Sue a good whooping. I think it's gonna be a good fight though. Let's see. Darby said Andrade said she tripled her contract money for taking that fight. Manone will have to stop. Oh, you think she'll have to stop Aaron? Claude said Manone will have the strap within 18 months, depending on scheduling and matchups. Won't hold it long enough due to her age. Yeah, that's why I think she needs to go ahead and get it now, because I want to see her get the belt now. She's like 32, 33, right? And she's got to take that chance by the end of the year. Hopefully she doesn't get injured anymore. But yeah, I think a fight between Manone and Aaron makes sense right now, because there's unfinished business now. Grasso and Shevchenko 2 is likely going to happen next, right? Is it going to happen this year? We'll see. Valentina, before she lost, I don't know how she feels about it now, about taking time off, but she's always spoken like somebody that wants to stay active, right? Valentina likes to stay active. The question is, do you think she still likes to stay active after losing? I don't know. But if Valentina if she hasn't entered it, really go for this rematch, okay, Grasso will be busy. The champ's going to be busy this year. So let's move on to what somebody like Manone needs, coming back from a ruptured ligament. She's going through therapy now. And if I remember correctly, her schedule was that she'll return to MMA training in March, which is March now. So, she's going to spend the next few months testing out the leg and getting back into training, getting back into, the whole thick of things. And by the summertime, in let's say April and May, they'll probably be looking at opponents, who's the best one for her. And with her already making a selection, the UFC is going to say, okay, well, if Aaron can't get the title shot now, if we make the rematch, the next best fight we can do for you is Manon. So if they pretty much agree on this, which I think Aaron does as well, which let's look at WMMA rankings real quick, because I think Aaron responded too, right? I thought this was the whole thing here where they both responded, but the whole excerpt here is Manon. So I thought there was an Aaron Blanchfield one here. Hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. I don't have it. I don't have it on the screen, but let me read it to you. I'm looking at IG. Okay, Simon said Manon is 10 times worse matchup for Aaron than Shevchenko. I can believe that. Colton said, would you favor your chances of Aaron versus Valentina over Aaron versus Manon? Who would you favor? Who would you favor in your chances of Aaron versus Valentina over Aaron versus Manon? I think Aaron's chances are a little bit better against Valentina. And I was saying this before that fight, okay? I know a lot of people could say you saying this because she got beat by Grasso. No, man. I was arguing with James Prez about this, that Aaron's jiu-jitsu and even her grappling is going to be a problem for Valentina, because he wasn't listening to me then. But I was telling him before this fight, I think Aaron has a better chance against Valentina, because if she can put a high pace on her, she can push her back and she can stop these. She can stop the activity. And Valentina's activity is not that high, right? So if she can make an entry on Valentina right away, or consistently, even if Valentina can get back up, I mean, she's gonna find an opening. You know, she'll. I believe she could get Valentina like a heel hook or in a knee bar within like that. And people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but no, I was already saying this before she won that fight. Daggone it, you know, like I'm serious. Like, her jujitsu is no joke. Like, when she says that Valentina's grappling is basic, or ground game is basic, I'm not going to get mad at her. I mean, she's been around for a long time. Like, she earned a black belt at a young age. You know, she's earned this black belt at a young age. Okay. Sink said Aaron trains with someone who's been in there with Manon. Oh yeah, Chikagan. Yeah, she's been training with Chikagan. Yeah, they're long time training. I think the Manon style is more hit and move, stick and move, volume, stuff takedowns, elbows on the break, tighten the clinch, bide some time and keep it moving, so she's going to be that type of worker. See, like, Valentina doesn't throw a high number of strikes, she doesn't. So I think that her chances would be better against Valentina. Lafayette said, I think Manon can be really good for 3 to 4 years, minimum wear and tear. Yeah, hopefully, like, Aaron's a bad matchup for Grasso, you think? The more and more I think about it too, it's hard to say for me, because like, I think like Grasso is really becoming like a very good package, she's becoming a good package. Like, honestly, like, if Grasso can keep up this energy, her IQ on the fly, she can get better, you know. But then again, like I said, styles make fights, and we never know, man. Like, we never know how it's going to play out. But I mean, she definitely has shown a good progression, excellent progression. Manon's a bad matchup for Val too. Her eye output style would give Val big problems. The only thing I would like to see from Manon, though, like, going into a fight like that with any of these girls, is like to keep her punches a little bit straighter. Sometimes, she likes to hook, and check right hook works sometimes, for girls stepping in, but I think she needs to keep her left hand a little bit more straight. If she keep them punches a little bit more straighter and not hook as much, she's gonna find the target more and sit down on her punches. Because Manon's a big girl, man. Like, she should be knocking out more fighters. Like, I know they're becoming a little bit more technical and cautious, to get these decisions and get these victories, but she should have knocked out Caitlin Chikagan. She really should have knocked out Caitlin Chikagan, with a good body attack, and they didn't go to the body enough. Like, I'm looking at that fight; they didn't go to the body enough. They didn't keep punching straight enough. They were throwing a lot of hook combinations, and they they let that slide. I think to get Chikagan out of there, you got to come with a good game plan of attacking her body, then going upstairs. Like between Minone and Tyler, I mean, they're like the biggest flyweights. And I think Tyler does sit down on the punches a little bit more. She just is not because she hasn't really knocked anybody out either. She just dropped JoJo, but Minone was finishing a couple of the lower ranked girls, but she should be finishing some of these girls like I said, Chikagan or even Myra Buena Silva. I think said Val's going to read her timing with those karate blitzes. Yeah, and that's the one thing they have to train for. Like Grasso, the same thing. You would have to stutter step a little bit and make Val overthink a lot of those moments. Like you can't blitz in. Like that's where a lot of fighters fail. They blitz. And you have to be a little bit more educated. That's why I say keep your punches straight, because if you blitz in with quick little combinations, she'll stop it with a good stunning 1-2 or spinning back fist, right? Like Grasso's movement and her feints, it exposed a lot of the spinning moves that Valentina wanted to do, right? Sink said, did Blanchfield get Mavericks back at any point in the fight? Yeah, she did. And Maverick survived it. Matter of fact, hold on. I ain't gonna pull the fight up, but I think I can pull up a picture here where Blanchfield had her back. I know she did. I know she did have her back in that fight, but Miranda, she survived it pretty well. Like Miranda did well on the ground. She really did well, like defensively. You know, she lost every round, but she was doing some good survival work. Hold on. I mean, this picture won't really let's see. I don't know if this one's gonna pull up here. Hold on. I just wanna some of these pictures don't pull up. I guess I have to save it as a JPEG, but what is this new thing? Okay, hold on. Maybe I can share it. I'll just share the screen and then you can see it sync. I'll give Miranda Mavericks grappling about. Let's see, she's a brown belt. I give her like a B minus. I give her like a B minus. Just being real, because I like her as a fighter. She's cool and everything, definitely. But I ain't gonna hype somebody up and tell them I want to see her improve. That's why I'm gonna tell her that it is a B, because if she's lost to Aaron, Aaron's is an A, and what she did to her, she's an A. But I would give, like, honestly, I would say it's a B minus. I was impressed with how she was able to fend off, and defend. But yeah, I'd say about a B minus. Yeah, cardio could be a little bit better, Zaman. I do think so. Sink said, would you say hers is better than Grasso's? Mm, I think she uses it more than Grasso. I put it that way, but I think Grasso might be improving in the right places, if that makes sense. Like I think Grasso has been doing better on the back as far as like activity and like some of the movements that defensively. Yeah, I think Grasso's defense looked it looked strong, man. Like her defensive grappling to me was impressive. Like just the way she was moving and turning, you know, on her back, the way she was moving and turning on Valentina, and the way she continued to try to throw strikes. She was never really like in a compromising position with Valentina. Valentina was really just trying to hold at that point, because if any moment it was like Grasso was going to turn into an offensive grappler at any moment. So she said, I have to just hold her down here. Mm, I would probably say Grasso's probably be defensive grappler might be a little bit better, Saint. I think so. She's already on this level, and I think they're taking it there, man. They with the training that she's been doing over the past uh year or so with her camp is taking her to a higher level, and I think, yeah, better get up game. Yeah, yeah, Zama. I think she has a better get up game, and sneaky takedown approach too. Like I was looking back at the fight, man. So I got to be real with it, man. Grasso did some impressive things. TJ said Lipski won. Pay me. I don't remember us making a bet. I really don't remember us making a bet, man. But I couldn't. Like I said, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked. Oh, hold on. Lafayette said, I think flyweight is wide open just because she beat Valentina. She does not mean she beats all these other fighters. This division's caught up with Val. We'll see. Right. Yeah, it's wide open, man. Lafayette's right. It's wide open. This division is wide open right now. This ain't gonna be some this ain't no easy work. This ain't no easy work now. Where is that? Where's that tab at? Ah, there it is. I'm gonna click on this tab here. Okay, there it is. All right. Can you see that, Sync? There was a picture here. I think she did have her back. Let me see. Yeah, Miranda had some moments with her striking. She just couldn't get Aaron's respect. Like Aaron just kept looking for an entryway and she would get it. Like I think Miranda needed to set a little bit more, but she was trying to throw out a lot of strikes to keep her off because she was, trying to make her uncomfortable with that pressure. But yeah, I thought Miranda was having her moments with a few strikes, but Aaron knew that all she had to do was kind of put some constant pressure and drop a level right there, and she got it, man. Yeah, she had her back in this moment, yeah. But hey, she survived that. You know, she had survived there, right? Like right there, you see, when she had got her back here. But I thought there was another time when she did get her back and was trying to submit her, but she was able to fend off as well. So yeah, Aaron, she's a beast on the ground, man. Like it's not gonna be easy for anybody. Close that out. Okay. Oh yeah. Anyways, okay. So Aaron said this. Look. All right. So Aaron's response on her next move was, "I still love the fight. I still love the fight in on International Fight Week, even if it was like maybe another title eliminator kind of fight. I'm not sure when they're going to rematch." She's referring to Grasso and Shevchenko. She said they just fought recently, so I'm not really sure. I mean, even if I got to fight on the same card that they'll rematch on, she's not sure. She said, even if I got to fight on that card, that would be really nice just so that it lines up. I don't think I want to wait for a title shot. That would be a while. I definitely like to get in there again. Manon is definitely what I expect. We're like top 3 or 4 now. So I think, yeah, me and Manon for a title eliminator makes a lot of sense. Okay. So she feels like, hey, it's an opportunity, just keep it moving. And I kind of expected that for Aaron. I kind of expected that, like, even if Valentina had beat Grasso, I still think that they might have went with Tyler, or yeah, they probably would have went with Tyler or something like that. I don't know if they would have gave it to Aaron right away. Maybe they would. I might be wrong now. I'm just kind of thinking here. Maybe because my mind's a little skewed now because of Grasso winning the belt. But I still think, Aaron she was open to it, like she said back then, and it would still benefit her to get another fight. And to me, at this point, it makes sense because, Manon wants another fight in August, which kind of works out that way for her because, she's not going to go right back in after a torn ligament, right? Who's going to do that in a championship fight? So she wants to go back in, get a sharp fight. Aaron's still a dangerous fight now. Aaron's going to be a dangerous fight. And I think Aaron acknowledges that too for Manon. So that's going to be, a good test for her. And it's going to give Aaron that experience. It would be nice to make this a 5-round fight. Maybe they should make this a UFC Fight Night main event. What do y'all think? Like, Aaron thinks it could be on the same card as the rematch with Valentina Grasso, but maybe it should be like around the same month or, the same week. So the turnaround is the same. But I think they should do Aaron and Manon as a main event for a UFC Fight Night card. That way, they both get their 5-round experience and nothing else can be said, right? We can say, okay, we got our experience, we got our 5 rounds. This would be Aaron's second 5-round fight, even though her first one didn't go 5 rounds, But I think that whatever month they make Grasso Shevchenko 2, this fight should also be that same month. So August. I think they should make both fights in August. Maybe not the same week, but again, if the UFC is listening, which I think they do, Mick Maynard or whoever, if anybody that scouts with him and they go and listen, make Manon and Aaron Blanchfield the same month, like August. If y'all do Grasso Shevchenko 2 in August, make them both in August, but make Manon Aaron a UFC Fight Night main event. They need to make that a main event. I'm serious because I want a 5-round fight between these two. Like, I'm sick of like title eliminators being just 3 rounds too, man. Like, they need to be 5-round fights. That way you can't have any complaints. Like, just make them, make it a 5-round fight so they get that time in that they can expect from a title fight, Yeah, I'm all for this one, man. Yeah, I hope they make this fight. This one's a good one. I mean, I would love the Tyler fight with either of them, but just put them on, put them on and do it because they talking, Manon talking that good junk now. So yeah. TJ said, if they give Val an immediate rematch, is Manon. If they don't give Val an immediate rematch, is Aaron or Manon more deserving of the next title shot? Well, with her coming off an injury, I don't think she would go into a title fight. I would probably say Aaron is in. But when she trying to put that roadblock up, she said, oh no. Like, girl, you still got some hype behind you. You got to face a big flyweight. And she's saying, I'm that big flyweight you need to fight. She said, I'm trying to kill that hype. You know what I mean? But if they ignored that and they said, we got to choose, I think Aaron would be that one because, yeah, Manon's looking for that other fight. So if they gave it to Aaron, Tyler and Manon would probably be the next fight they would make, right? Cole said, I don't miss the spam. Oh, you talking about James Perez? Oh, y'all were talking about James Perez. Y'all say he was gone. No, he's still around. I think he's still around. I mean, he's already said it before, y'all. Like, he's not a hardcore WMMA fan. He's a hardcore Bullet fan. And if Bullet is gone, he might be gone for a while, right? When Bullet's winning, he'll be back, right? It only makes sense, right? I mean, he's gone on record on my channel to say that, hey, I'm not this hardcore WMMA fans. All these other girls are peasants. They can bow down. That's his logic. So if his favorite fighter loses, you might not see him, right? He might disappear with his favorite fighter. I mean, shout out to James. I like James though. I mean, he just he taking the loss hard. I mean, he really was taking it hard. He was taking it hard. He's taking the loss hard. TJ said, I think Manon will take a title shot against Grasso yesterday. You think so? She better not. My opinion. I was like, you better go back. Stick with what the plan is. Grasso ain't no slouch right now. I'm just saying, like, not on this Valentina level, like we were thinking before, but still. Lolita said Val does deserve a rematch, but DC and others have maybe said she should wait. I wonder how long. I didn't know Val broke her nose. No, she had a cut. Oh, taking your top knot said 5 rounds in the apex would be disrespectful. It needs to be in a big cage. Oh, you talking about Aaron and Manoa? Yeah, I think so. Zama said there are fight nights at big venues now. Yeah, I think fight nights. I think fight nights should still be at big venues, because those are still, some of the best fights. Like, you still have cards where your UFC fight night cards shine harder than your pay-per-view sometimes. Like last year, like I said, there was like 2 or 3 fight night cards I like better than some of the pay-per-views as of recently, so them things need to be put in some big venues. And I think some fights that are like title eliminators need to be in big venues. TJ said if Val and Amanda retire, his interest will be gone too. Dang. Don't take much, do it for y'all. Cole said, I didn't know he was going to take it this hard. I told he wasn't playing. No, he was serious. I told you, if that's your favorite fighter, that you get up and you come on this chat and you make 10,000 posts about the Bullet, and you want to make the argument that the Bullet won over Nunes every single time, yeah, he's gonna take it hard, man. Because he told all of us that she was gonna beat Grasso. I mean, I picked Valentina too, but he made it seem like she had no chance. Some of us did anyway, but not the way he did. Not the way he did. I said Grasso had no chance, but hey, I always understand MMA math don't add up. So when she took the loss, where's Chin at? Chin ain't in here, but I was joking with her. I was gonna smash my head into a wall. I was just playing. I mean, James, I'm not so much. I don't think he was playing. Gabby said they could do fight nights at Virgin Hotel Las Vegas like last night. It can hold up to 5,000. Yeah, I think those are good places to have it. Inca Cola, yeah, Inca Cola. That's that good stuff, right? I used to always like see that and just associate it with Valentina, like Inca Cola, because that was what she used to have that everywhere. She used to be their sponsor, right? Oh man, TJ appreciate with the 20 spot. He said Lauren Murphy retires, no more Marcus Bell. Dang, is that true, Marcus? Well, it wasn't Roxy because he's still here, but I guess so. Lauren Murphy retires, no more Marcus Bell. Oh, no. I'm gonna put that right there. Is that true? Darby said I'm a hardcore Valentina fan, but Ebos winning made me extremely happy. Plus, I like Grasso too. Yeah, Ebos winning. I picked Viviana Arujo, but with Ebos winning and the energy she's bringing, I'm kind of glad she did win, because I know when she gets to a certain point, she'll want to fight the big dogs, Ebos and Grasso is kind of an interesting matchup too. I mean, like, size-wise and style-wise, I think Grasso Ebos would be a good fight. Who do y'all think has a better ground game, Ebos or Grasso? That's a question for you, Zaman. Like, how do you think Grasso and Ebos would go on the ground? Like, who would win that fight? Like, who would win the exchanges on the ground? Is Amanda Ebos staying at 125? No, she plans on juggling both because she called out Carla Esparza. she wants to try to do both. Sink said Ebos, in my opinion. Where do you think she where do you think she exceeds over Grasso Sink? Like, do you think her offensive grappling is better? Do you think her okay, you said she has better jujitsu. Like, do you think her top control is better? Val and Amanda retires. Okay, WMA will still continue. New stars are being created. New era. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if they retire, I mean, people are asking for Nunes to retire now because he's kind of holding that belt up, right? We kind of asking for her to retire now. Sink said credentials wise. Yeah, yeah, I can see. Yeah, definitely. When it comes to them hands, though, boy, Grasso might get her first knockout, boy. With them hands, boy, I'm just saying. Grasso might put that right hand down the pipe on that chin. I know, Sink, you saw it. Vivian Arujo did rock Ebos a little bit. I know you saw that in the first round, right? You know I had to call that out. I mean, Arujo didn't do much after. I mean, she tried, but she didn't do anything much as far as knocking out. But she put that right hand on her chin, and it made me mad because I was like, "You just teased me. You know, you touched her chin, but you didn't do it. You didn't do what I thought she could do." Let me see. The Valentina versus Amanda fight might never happen. I hope it doesn't at this point. Ebos better quit testing her chin at strawweight and stay at flyweight. She better stop testing it at flyweight too, man. Yeah, Sink. Okay, Sink said he did see it. Okay. He said they're both good defensively. Yeah, they're both good defensively on the ground. Gabby said, "How would Grasso compete with the top 5 strawweights? Rose, Grasso, Yawn, and how would she compete with the top of the strawweights? Rose versus Grasso. Ooh, I think she would do pretty well against Rose. Actually, I think her boxing IQ is high enough. She's proven it, and even the ground game. I think her and Rose are kind of like in that same position where um, they had this point where they just really improved in all dimensions. They trying to get better as a fighter. I think Grasso would fare well. I think it would be the weight that would be an issue for her, though. I think Grasso would beat Jan, though. I think Grasso would beat Jan Jana. Zama said Grasso has been super respectful since the fight, not one fight pick on her social media. Oh, wow, that's true, right? I noticed that. Just her and the belt. Just her and the belt. Like, she ain't posted none of the aggressive pictures that I post on my channel or anybody. I mean, she could have posted this one. Hold on. All right. Hey, I'm gonna show y'all something, but this didn't age very well, did it? Hold on. I'm gonna talk about this in another episode, but that didn't age very well, did it? I posted that because I was gonna use that. I can still talk about it, but that was Valentina. I was gonna talk about that topic, her calling her a puppy. hmm All right, Gabby said, "How about Grasso versus Wei Lee?" Ooh, I probably lean towards Wei Lee in that one. Evos needs to work on better head movement. She can't do anything about her chin. Yeah, you really can't. Yeah, you really can't. You just have to have better defense and be slicker. Gabby, I think you missed the first part of the show, but what do you think about with WMMA being around 10 years? Like, who are some of the first what were some of the first fights that you watched in the UFC for WMMA? What were some of your favorites, Gabby? Lafayette says, so what about O'Neal? Oh, yeah. O'Neal. Let's talk about O'Neal a little bit. Hold on. I'm looking for something here. I don't see it. Oh, yeah. What did y'all think of the Lipski fight, though? I did a video talking about that earlier, but what did y'all think of Lipski's performance over Aldrich? Again, to me, sometimes these fighters, both of these fighters, they're a little bit, what's the word? Oh, make sure you hit the like button too. I still got like 20, 30 y'all in here. Hit that like button. And we'll talk about O'Neal in a minute when y'all do that. Hang on. Trying to find something here. Let me mute for a second. Hold on. All right. Let me see. Ronda versus Holly was what got my attention. Okay. Ronda versus Holly got my attention. JJ versus Wade was my favorite WMMA fight. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. So just so y'all know, I was talking about this the other day too. Remember when I was talking about UFC 286? Like the original lineup had JoJo on the main card because it was even talked about. JoJo was going to be like on the main pay-per-view card. Her and versus Luana Carolina, but they switched that up quick. And like I was giving y'all my thoughts, I was like, okay, I understand. Look, I am a fan. JoJo, one of my favorite fighters, got me into the game. But at this point where she's at in her career right now, Luana Carolina, I was like, I don't think that's a good idea that she's gonna be like the third. What was it like? She was probably like the third or fourth fight up. He was right under the Gaethje fight. And maybe they weren't done. Maybe they weren't done organizing it, but at the time, yes, she was going to be on that main card. But they shifted it now because they had Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill as the opening fight on the prelims. They had them as the opening fight, but they switched it around and put JoJo now. She's on the early prelims, and Casey O'Neill and Jennifer Maia on the main card. And, I thought, okay, maybe they're doing that because, it is London, England. So they want to put her high up, JoJo, that is. But still, I don't know if she was carrying that much star power that people were going to come out and just say, okay, we're going to come see. Even with the losing streak that JoJo's on, that might not have been a good idea. So, yeah, Gabby said, I think a lot of people were complaining why JoJo was on the main card. Right. Yeah. So, it's going to be close to home, but still people want meaningful fights. And I'm not saying JoJo's not a meaningful fighter, but she's on a 3-fight losing streak. She's unranked now. And if you want people to come out and see a pay-per-view card, something that's pay-per-view worthy, you got to have pay-per-view worthy names on there, right? You got to still organize it going by who's got the best resume right now, who's looking the most promising. And I know Casey O'Neill, like I talk about her skill set still needing to develop, but right now she's got more of a back end and she's coming up. She's 9-0. She's making her return. And she's taking on the girl. She's taking on a fighter that beat JoJo, right? Jennifer Maya has a win over JoJo. So you would put them two on the pay-per-view card instead, right? Prelims or the pay-per-view. Not like the early prelims. The opening fight at 1 p.m. That's reserved for Juju and Veronica Macedo, which makes sense. This is Juju's first fight, so she should be the opener. Veronica Macedo hadn't fought in like 3 or 4 years, right? She's the opener. So JoJo and Luana Carolina, they're like the next fight up now. Makes sense, right? Because again, JoJo's on a losing streak. Luana Carolina still needs to show up and show out. Still got something to prove. Makes sense, right? So yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up. Lafayette, like they switched that around, but I think Casey O'Neill, is bringing that type of following, but still got a lot of work to do. Jennifer Maya is going to be a big test for her. Gabby said, didn't JoJo and O'Neill have beef? Yeah, they had some beef. Something about JoJo was snitching on her at the PI for parking in the handicap spaces. Something like that. If I remember correctly. Yeah, O'Neill, that's her first pay-per-view. Oh, Bluebird, what's up? I always see Bluebird. What's going on, Bluebird? I always see you in videos, but I feel like I don't see you in lives enough. Maybe you're missing the times. Maybe you get busy, but good to see you in here. Bluebird said moving O'Neill and Maya to the main card was a no-brainer. Exactly. He said JoJo's going to have to either retire or string some wins together. Right. And Saint said, is Agapova on the chopping block? I think so, man. I think her and Montana in there. And there's a couple other fighters, I think. Ernest said Aldrich looked ready to go in that fight. Yeah, she looked gone, man. She looked flat. She looked flat in that fight, man. Veronica's live for an upset. Her striking is way better than Brogan's, and Brogan was tagging Juliana. Yeah, we'll see, man. Like, we'll see if this layoff has done some justice for her. Y'all know she has some. I think she has some concussion issues too. Veronica Macedo did. She was out for a while. Like, it wasn't just like she was out for no reason. I think she was out for like a concussion protocol or something. So we don't know if like she's gonna show up with the same energy. I believe it was a concussion. Hold on. Back in 2020, let me see. After a concussion led to the cancellation of a few of her fights. Yeah, she had a lot of cancellations, because of concussion issues. So we'll see if she does come with that energy with her stand-up game that she used to have. But I want to go back and watch that Andrea Lee fight that she had. So I'm gonna do that in maybe sometime tonight, and then talk about it. Cause yeah, Marcus got me thinking now, like how dangerous she can be. Um, I'm still thinking that Juju might have the edge when it comes to her energy and how big she is, and if she can utilize her size. But we'll see. Um, Now hopping back over, I know I was talking Jennifer Maya and Casey O'Neill. Yeah, I still think Jennifer Maya has a very good skill set, and she has been looking a little bit bigger too, man. Like, we'll see if Casey O'Neill can get Jennifer Maya to the ground and actually have success. You know what I mean? Like, can she get her down and keep her down and get some ground and pound off on Jennifer Maya? I don't see that happening because I think this is another Jennifer Maya's in another category than some of the fighters that she's fought, and it's been about a year. So Jennifer Maya, there really is no reason she should come in here and be either even like gun shy or falling behind against Casey O'Neill. So this could be Jennifer Maya's fight to stay afloat here. She needs this win. Bluebird said, I think you're gonna eat those words, TJ, but Maya does have smart skills. TJ said, I'm not saying O'Neill can't beat Maya, though I'm kind of impressed by that. She gets hit too much. Though I'd be kind of impressed by that. She gets hit too much. Yeah, she gets hit, you know? That's what I'm saying. Like, she should be, Jennifer Maya should be able to get off and move in this fight. Oh, Lafayette, you got Maya in this one? Okay. I kept thinking you were going for O'Neal in this fight. We all know who BJ's going for. But, yeah, Lafayette said he's got Maya all day in this one. Okay. What does Casey O'Neal got to do to win this fight? Lafayette, let me ask you that. Like, what does she got to do to win this fight against Jennifer Maya? Or should the question be, can she do anything to win this fight? Darby said the tough with Randa, with Ronda and Misha was so good they hated each other. With seeing how insecure Pena was. Great TV. Then watching her beat the number one Baszler was pure gold. Yeah, that was a good season. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was going for Pena back then in that house, man. Like, yeah, Pena, I remember, was talking Rocky's head off about how, certain things weren't going her way and people talking about her, and it just seemed like she was tuning her out at one point. She just said her skills aren't at. Casey O'Neal needs a lot of work. Yeah. Tatiana Suarez has been out for a while as well. Yeah. But Tatiana left off in a much more Tatiana, let's be real. Tatiana left off with a good string of wins too now. Like, Tatiana left off on a good note as a dominant fighter. That's where I see the different splits with her and Veronica Macedo. Veronica Macedo, what was her resume when she left? What was she looking like before? And that's what kind of makes it hard for us to pick her in this one, right? Because Tatiana been out 4 years, but she was a sharp, strong, dominant fighter. Whereas Veronica Macedo left and she was 1-4, right? 1-4. And missing weight too, I believe, right? She missed weight a couple times, I think. She had missed weight. So she was having some weight troubles there as well, like, fitting into one division. Again, it wasn't like she left off in this high note the way Tatiana did, which makes me feel like her mind frame wasn't the same as far as compete. See, Tatiana's back and she's already talking about trying to get the belt, defend it a few times and what have you, Lafayette to improve her stand-up defense is kind of leaky. Yeah, that's a big part of her game. I think that's what everybody kind of agrees with Casey O'Neal. Like, if you're gonna be fighting a fighter with hands like Jennifer Maya, you got to have some type of defense. But who knows, man? Like, her pressure and her activity could give Jennifer Maya some problems. I'm just saying. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Like, could throw Jennifer Maya off her rhythm. She could outwork her, outland her. I don't know. This is her time to rise, so she might. Brandon Rennie, what's up? She said, I'm back. I'll have to re-listen later. She ain't getting Whaley's belt. Y'all talking about Amanda Lemos. Casey's going to bring that heat, but she does get hit a lot. Robot Chicken said, yeah, she gets hit a lot. Yeah. Darby said, I still remember the third round where Ansaroff dominated, fading Tatiana 5 rounds and Nina wins. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, her striking was, she was getting off some hits in that last round. Robot Chicken said, I could never see Ronda losing to Lauren Murphy. I couldn't either. Oh, yeah, early. I know what I was going to say. Ronda Rousey, not Ronda Rousey, but Lauren Murphy versus Andrea Lee. That was a good fight. Yeah, but yeah, I was glad they did this swap out here because you got to think too. Like I said, you got to look at what your fans are saying, and you got to look at how you got to look at your presentation, and they know that. This is the UFC. That's why they swapped them out, right? JoJo and Luana were both in positions to kind of keep their careers afloat. I think JoJo and Luana may be on that chopping block with like Montana and Agapova right now. So, they're more the fighters that you want to just see open. They're on that card that have to kind of prove themselves and climb back up if they can, right? Bluebird said O'Neal is very durable and never seems to get tired and has great forward pressure. Maybe Maya's footwork might make the difference. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking her footwork might make a difference, but O'Neal, I'm kind of thinking she might be coming with a jab too that might throw Jennifer Maya off. And I'm kind of thinking if she throws a lot of activity, she could win these rounds. Like, that's going to have to be her thing. Forward pressure and higher output to beat Jennifer Maya. Because sometimes Jennifer Maya will get into that rhythm of throwing the same combination, or sometimes she'll get into a rhythm of not throwing enough, or mixing it up. So if the forward pressure becomes a problem, Jennifer Maya could fall behind on points. Like, I don't see Casey O'Neal like winning this thing by stoppage or submission. I think, Jennifer Maya, her ground game is legit and she's physically strong on the ground. Wrestling is decent. Also has a level of judo, right? So I don't think, this is a fight where we see Jennifer Maya get stopped. She could win. Casey O'Neal could win a decision. I could see that happening, but I still think Jennifer Maya will get it. But we've seen crazier things happen, especially when a fighter doesn't show up mentally, Oh, Genesis, what's going on? Brian said, just remember that Jennifer countered the heck out of Maya. Jennifer, wait a minute. How the heck out of, wait a minute, which fight are we talking about? Jennifer Maya? Hold on. Out of Maria? Why is my brain not clicking here? Hold on. Jennifer Maya countered the heck out of Maria. Oh, Moreau. All right, yeah. Oh, I was trying to think, man. I was like, which Marie? Oh, you talking about Marina Moreau? Yeah, you spelled it different. That's why I didn't know. Okay, Marina Moreau. Yeah, she did. She sure did. Yeah, it's with a Y. That's why I always remember it's spelled with Marina Moreau with a Y. That's why I didn't know. You said BJ got some of his picks right, shockingly. He didn't get that pick right with we were laughing about. I was laughing at him with the other one because he laughed when I picked Myra Buena Silva against Lena Landsberg. He thought that was funny. Robot Chicken said, "Do you think Myra Buena Silva has a contender at bantamweight?" I need to see a little bit more, just because I'm thinking of like Irene Aldana, Pena, and Nunes. Like, let's see what she can do with Misha Tate. Like, if she can retire her and get her out the way, we'll see, man. Like, she's looking good against some of these fringe fighters like Stephanie Edgar, older Lena Landsberg. Who else she beat? Wu Yanan. Yeah. Let's see what she can do with a veteran like Misha. If she can get her out of there, I still need to see something else, man. Because this division is, you know, so old. No offense, but it's pretty old. in fight years. So I need to see a little bit more what she can do with some of the, bigger fighters at the top, man. Even they're getting older, but I just need to see a little bit more. Lafayette said Bueno versus Panny. Oh, that would be a banger, man. They would be throwing. Yeah, Gabova, yeah, she's got to work on her ground game, man. Even like her defensive grappling, man. She's open, man. Colton said Misha Tate looked disappointed with Lauren Murphy. Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people thought Tate was gonna win that fight, but I was like, nah, I think Lauren's got this one. Yeah, big grapplers were laying prey on Myra Bueno Silva. That's what I'm kind of thinking too, man. Like, she running through some of these other fighters, but I think, if you get to the Ketlin Berry and so on, and like some of the bigger fighters. Gabby said, do you agree with this comment? Casey is going to be plodding forward, throwing volume, and Maya's going to be pedaling back, trying to counter her. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. You're going to get Casey O'Neill looking for takedowns or either clinching, or she's going to be throwing volume. She's going to be trying to throw some kicks in there too, working on her Muay Thai. And you're going to get Maya trying to step side to side and throw the 1, 2, 3 and get off and move, Casey might look to try to control on the ground, but that's kind of how we see it. Gabby, let's see, Maya has better boxing than O'Neill. If she can stay poised and put it together is another thing. Yeah, can she stay poised? Yeah, that's really the big question for me. That's what makes it questionable. Her winning Robot Chicken's like I pick her, but if you hear me every time, I'm like, that's the one thing. Like, I don't know if she'll put it together. Like, she should have beat Jennifer Maya more convincingly too. Like, not just on the feet, but like she should have adjusted and taken Jessica Eye to the ground in that fight. Cole said I could see Maya counter with a hard punch in case he does that. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a fight though, man. I mean, Lipski, this is a fighter that looks to improve. We'll see where she goes from here, man. Still need to see a little bit more. But yeah, like I said, Manon and Aaron. Yeah, that should be the next one, man. Let me see. From Tapology, Gabby said, honestly, she kind of reminds me of Juliana Miller with worse BJJ. Wow. It says she reminds me of Juliana Miller with worse BJJ. Do y'all agree with that? Oh, don't read that comment to BJ. I don't. I actually think I think Juju's. Yeah. Well, because I think Juju's pretty good on the ground. I think she is pretty good. I think she has good BJJ, but I don't think they're the same type of fighter. I think they're a little bit different. I think Juju's looking for more of a calculated approach. I think sometimes Casey O'Neill will come storming in a little bit more. Like I think she storms in. Yeah, you said you don't agree with it. Yeah, they're kind of two different fighters, Cole's I'm rooting for Casey O'Neill, but this will be her biggest test or real test. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with that either, Gabby, because I was trying to think about it. I said, I don't know because Juju doesn't fight the same way. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna get up out of here now. I just want to jump on here and do some live talk here with y'all. As Ahmed said, Juju dominates O'Neal 100%. Yeah, I like Juju's ground game. I'm not gonna lie. All right, just read some comments. Ronka Macedo has her head in the clouds. I haven't said I always thought Maya fights better when she stands her ground and stays in the pocket. And then she has to, but when she has to pursue, she struggles a lot. It's her hard. It's not hard to turn her, and she tends to follow too much. Yeah, and sometimes her sequence can be predictable. Her punch sequence can be a little predictable. Dang, Zaman, he's making a bold prediction. He said Juju dominates O'Neal 100% already. Gabby said O'Neal wins by split decision. It's going to be a hard working fight, man. It's going to come down to the one that wants it most, I think. Like, I really kind of lean towards O'Neal the more I think about it, because some of the things Maya's done in the past that kind of, had me questioning her thought process, you know? And that's just me, man. That's just me. I want to know if Zaman sees where Juju just dominates her, man. I mean, right now at this stage. Robot Chicken said Juju reminds him of Jazzy with Jiu-Jitsu. I think her hands are getting better though, man. Like, I think Juju's hands are going to be a lot better as she moves forward in her career. Claire Guthrie is a pretty decent fighter though, man. Like, they need to sign Claire to 135. I think that O'Neal has more variety on the feet. Cole said Juju's fight Veronica Macedo though. Yeah, it's her first fight in the UFC. I mean, that is kind of a weird match. I was thinking they should give her Cream Silva, but I don't know. Cream Silva might win that. Gabby said, "Are you going live for Invicta fight?" I'm going to try to. Yeah, I should be off that night home, so I'm going to try to. Yeah, so tune in for that. We're going to call that card. We're going to try to get on and call that card because we got Fatima Klein on this card again too, right? We got Fatima Klein. We got what is her name? Wajik is on there. Of course, the main event's going to be a good fight. Yeah, Lafayette said Kareem Silva would win. Yeah, I picked Kareem Silva to win that fight. I'm gonna go with Machado to win. I seen Danny McCormick in a couple of fights where sharp hitters kind of give her problems. There was one Bellator fight. She came in, she walked in some big shots and got knocked out. Man, like I was like, wow. Yeah, Lafayette said Tina Black. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a good card. Should be a good card. Let me pull it up here. Let me see. Victor, is this 52? Yeah. Shout out McCormick. Yeah, Shauna Bannon's on this card. Yep, Bannon's on this card. Fatima Klein is taking on this judoka coming in, Natalia. Can't pronounce her last name. That should be a good fight. Amanda Maciosi, that's another one I'll look at. She has a big knockout. She had a big knockout in her last fight. It was crazy. Yeah, Amanda Maciosi's like 1-0, but it should be interesting. Okay, it's only 6 fights on the card now, so hopefully we get some finishes. So it won't have me on here all night like that last card. All right, y'all. We're yawning. I love the idea of Manon Aaron. I want to see how Aaron looks when she has to track down an elusive striker like Manon, who doesn't just march forward like most of the strikers she's faced. Yeah. So Silva might finish Carolina. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, still 7 fights. Wajik, you think she might finish her? I mean, Silva's kind of tough too now. Silva throw with some power. Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. I thought you said Carolina was gonna finish. Yeah, Silva. Yeah, Silva might finish it. Silva can hit hard. Edie and Silva on the Invicta card sync. Not the UFC Silvas. I'm not talking about Natalia and Korean. Brian Williams said, "Did you talk about Jay Giron?" No, I didn't talk about it on this one. I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow. I'm getting tired here. Yeah, I'm gonna save for tomorrow. Cole said they'll be surprised if we see JoJo versus in Power Slap. Oh man, Cole, you wrong. Power Slap crap needs to go, man. It just needs to go, man. I'm tired of that. But I gotta go, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Been on here a little longer than I wanted to be, but that's how we usually do. So make sure you tune back in later. Not later, but tomorrow, whatever. If you tune in now, you could go to the comment section, leave comments, whatever. Close this out, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But yeah, Brian, I'll talk about that fight a little bit on the next one because that was a good one. That was a good one. Chanel Dyer also, man, that was a good fight. Oh man, that was a hexagon card. Big knockout for Chanel Dyer, her first fight. Former Muay Thai fighter in the MMA now. Yeah, she's looking good. I mean, only time will tell, but we'll see what Chanel Dyer does from here. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.